Hi guys, welcome back. Well, it's another classic gaming review for you. This time it's Wing Commander 3. Right, Wing Commander 3, Heart of the Tiger. The game was developed and published by Orion Systems. Now, before I actually get onto the directors and producers and so on, they basically doubled up because you had directors, say, for games and directors also for the cutscenes, and so on and so forth for the producers. So, the directors was Frank Savage and Chris Roberts. The producers was Chris Roberts and Donna Birkins. The designers was Tim Ray, Ben Potter and Jeff Shelton. Programmers Frank Savage and Frank Rowan. Artist Chris Douglas. Writers Terry Burrust and Frank De Palma. And composer was George Aldersey. I think I nailed that one. It originally made its way on, well, classic computer MS-DOS and then classic Mac OS before it made its way to the 3DO and the PlayStation. Its original release date was back in 1994, and this is also classed as a space combat simulation. Full motion video FMV was the order of the day when this game got released, and there is several actors in this game that you're gonna recognise. I'll name two of them for you now. The first is Mark Hamill. You'll recognise him from his Star Wars, nearly said trilogy there, but he's just about been in all of them. And no, you didn't finish Jedi School, Mark.
You're all talk, Hamill. You never even finished Jedi School.
And the other, well, you'll recognise Thomas F. Wilson from his Back to the Future trilogy, where he played Biff.
Make like a tree and get out of here.
There is a total of 9 games in the Wing Commander franchise, and there was also supposed to be a Sega Saturn version of this game. It was announced, advertised, but never actually got released. Wing Commander 3 made the movie from sprite-based graphics used on previous titles to software-driven, textured-mapped polygonal 3D. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And used FMV for the cutscenes. It also features an entirely new line of ships and fighters, abandoning the technology that was in Wing Commander 1 and 2. So the Terrian Federation crafts were redesigned from airplanes in space, while the Karathi craft were totally redesigned into astrometrical ships with prongs, barbed and fang-like surfaces. Well, the plot on this one has got more twists and turns than a ball of twine, to be quite honest. You're playing as Christopher Blair. You're war with the Karathi now, which they are cat-like creatures. It's been going on for over 30 years. The year is 2669. You're no longer on the front. You've been reassigned to the TCS Victory, which is a Ranger class carrier, and it's twice as old as yourself. You meet up with some old friends, and you're no longer on the front fighting. You're basically escorting ships, and I'm not going to go in any more than that because we'll be here forever and a day. But I will give it 8 out of 10.
enemy has struck at the heart of our empire. A puny contingent of their soldiers has been captured here on Kilra.
This incursion was an act of desperation. The hairless apes now flail about knowing that they are beaten. They have failed their race utterly. There will be no interrogation.
Do what you will with them.
Disintegration. Silence. My brethren, they are not warriors, but maggots.
Audio. Well, I'll start off with the music in this. It all sounds like an epic blockbuster of a film. And to be honest, that theme will continue throughout this review, to be quite honest with you, because it is like a blockbuster of a film. As for the actors, it's scripted very well, they come across extremely clear, but you wouldn't have it any other way. Some of these actors have been in some of the biggest films we've ever watched, so it's got to be good, surely. And to be honest, it is. It may come across a bit cheesy at times, but I think that's more to do with the scenarios they're trying to act out rather than their acting ability. As for the special effects on everything else, whether it's the cannon fire, the missiles, things exploding, it all sounds pretty accurate and I'm more than happy with it. I'll give it 9 out of 10.
Confed intelligence tells us that the Karathi presence is growing here in the Orsini system. You and your wingman are to fly routine patrol of these 3 zones, sweep the area of any hostiles you may encounter. Understood?
Completely, sir. So, these are the mission objectives. Oh, and one last thing. Hobbs, you're on my wing for this one. Dismissed, and good luck.
Controls. Well, with this game, the controls are super easy, but at times really complicated. Let me explain. For the most part, it's almost like a point and click adventure. You can move your cursor around the screen and decide where you want to go or who you want to talk to, provided they're there, of course. So that's just your D-pad and button A. Dead easy. When you actually start flying your ship, again, dead easy. You're going to use your D-pad to move your ship, and you're going to use one of the buttons to fire your missiles or fire your lasers. Now here comes the difficult part. Because you've got your 2 shoulder buttons, left and right, to accelerate and decelerate. You can select which sort of strength or weapons you want to fire. So that could be, say, 50% lasers to 100% lasers. So you push a button to alter the configuration. If you want to issue an order, you then hold down one of the buttons and then start using your D-pad to configure. You want to check maps, you start pushing the stop button or the pause button, and in configuration start pushing other buttons. But it doesn't end there. Once you've got into that menu, you've got to use your D-pad again to select different menus. It can get bloody complicated. In fact, at times, I think a keyboard would have been easier than an actual joystick, because that's what you're trying to use. And as I'm looking at it now, you've got your D-pad, you've got your 3 main buttons, you've got 2 shoulder buttons, and you've got a stop and a pause play. You use all of those buttons in configuration. It will take you a while to master it, but if you stick with it, you'll enjoy it. It's not difficult, it's more than responsive, but it's just bloody complicated. I will only give it 7 out of 10.
Waypoint reached.
Sighted enemy craft, Colonel. I am ready to engage.
Waypoint reached.
I will gut you, human. I am ready to engage.
Graphics. Well, let's be honest, it's no 1080 HD movie, is it? Or 4K for that matter. But for what you get, and bear in mind this is back in 1994, playing out your 3DO or your PlayStation, I think is phenomenal. The fact that those two consoles had enough power to actually give us this is outstanding, and it does actually show at the same time just how capable the Panasonic 3DO really was. Right, we'll just push to one side the actual actors, acting out what is the film side of this game. Let's just push that to one side and concentrate, I suppose, on the real graphics of the time, and that is when you're in the cockpit, you're flying around and you're destroying the enemy. I think this is brilliant. There's tons of detail in there. When you look at the cockpit, you will see the joystick move as you're flying the ship, and that is just brilliant. You can see your legs. They wanted to really try and give you that cinematic simulation sort of feel, and it certainly does deliver. There's tons happening on screen all at once. There is a ton of slowdown at times, and that's a shame, but it is what it is. Bear in mind, we're still in 1994. But on the whole, there's tons of detail, tons of colour, tons of depth. You're getting absolutely incredible amount of bang for your buck. And bear in mind, this was on 4 discs for both consoles. I think it's brilliant. I still think it looks good today, but it is very, very dated. I'll give it 7 out of 10.
Pretty slick flying, sir.
Thanks, Chief.
I wish they wouldn't send me these Academy hotshots.
Youth and wisdom are rarely combined, Captain.
It's still your ship, Captain.
He answers only to Admiral Talwin. Colonel, we're under attack. Launch all fighters. Red alert! Red alert! Launch all fighters! Launch all fighters! This is not a drill! This is not a drill!
Gameplay. Well, on the one hand, it's got a fantastic story that will start to grip you and will keep hold of you, and you'll continue playing to find out what's going to happen next. But on the other hand, the spaceflight simulation, it's too slow. And when I mean it's too slow, it takes too long to get there. You'll have to go through a load, sometimes monotonous dialogue, just to get there. It's not a deal breaker, but if all you want to do is actually fly around space shooting things, you may get bored before you even start your first campaign. Once you do actually get there, you will enjoy it. It is great, but again, if you're more of a seasoned flight simulation sort of player, it's not going to be enough for you. So again, I'm saying it's more of the casual player that likes to dip the toe and enjoys more of a story-based game. If that's for you, you've got absolutely hours of fun playing this game, and you will most certainly enjoy it. I'll give it another 7 out of 10. Overall, the FMV on this game is brilliant, and it should be. It's filled by bloody big actors at the end of the day, and you'll certainly enjoy watching that. The game itself, if I was to be, put my hand on my heart, it's a little basic. And that's not a bad thing, because again, if you're the casual player, you don't want it to be super complicated, because the controls are more than complicated enough, to be honest, at times. So you want the fighting to be a little bit easier, because it feels like we're just playing out a story more than anything. And if that's what you're into, and you find that you would like to play something a bit more slow-paced in these type of games, then this is most certainly the game for you. This was an absolute blockbuster of a hit when it got launched all those years ago. Do you know what? It certainly is still worth a play by today's standards. Give it a go. I'm giving it an overall score of 7.8 out of 10. Well, there you have it. That's Wing Commander. It's certainly not for everyone, but it's got such a fantastic cult following as this one. You know, wow. And the storyline, it's just been brilliant from the word go. And it's the story I really enjoy. Watching and waiting and seeing the whole thing unfold right in front of me. It's just brilliant and I thoroughly enjoy it. Well, if you've made it to the end of the video, and I hope you have, then please consider subscribing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you all again. Take care.